Hi everybody, welcome back to those who've been hanging with me some time, and welcome to those of you new to my channel. I'm Adele Levine, intuitive and medium. All right, so I took a little break. Thank you guys for understanding. I've been having like obscene, and I mean obscene, amount of dental work. Take care of your kids. Wait, no, take care of your kids, but take care of your teeth, kids. Yeah, just leave that in. Yeah, so it's been an ordeal. Not that I want to bore you with it or make you even cringe for yourself. So let's just fast speed this along. I have a little bit more to go and then I'm done. So yeah. Anyway, new cup. Yeah, you know, this comes from like World Market sending me ads. Damn you, World Market. Anyway, yeah, not a sponsor, not anything, literally sending me ads and I pay for it. Let's get to the subject at hand. So I had thought so long on a video I wanted to do to speak out to the younger generation. No, I'm not going to go on a whole rant of all the generations, Gen X, Boomers, Zs, and now people are finally acknowledging Alpha, which is the little ones, you know, tweens and such. But it's really kind of more about this thing that I've seen pop up a lot called, maybe I'm late to the game, but generational curses. Now, I have been asked this many times from people, especially the medium side of me. People seem to think, you know, if I talk to my ancestors, if I talk to the people who've died, who are related to by blood and such, or maybe not, just I think people are meaning it by blood, that maybe there's a way to clear up these curses. Now, when I looked on YouTube, when I did my research, you know, I just like full on did research. No, I just have had a lot of people talk to me about it, and I've done some research on it. And a lot of it's connected to the Bible. The idea that there's like evil and curses that are done on certain people in the family line, and then it goes down into your line. I wanted to do a video on supporting the younger generations for so long. And I have always been an advocate for the younger generation. I used to speak up for the millennials. And then one day I realized, millennials are like older now. They're like the old group. They're no longer the young group. Sorry, millennials, but they're not the 20-somethings or the 18-year-olds. They are having babies and things like this. So I stuck up for you guys for a long time, even against my own generation, Generation X here, even to friends that I even knew that were saying things. And I've always been an advocate to progression and evolving, and that the younger generation is here to help us stay awake and evolve and not get stagnant. And then one day I realized, it's actually the Z generation. And I wanted to speak out to the idea that if we're telling younger generations that no matter what you do, you have this like curse from the older generations and ancient even, that are just following you along, and that you have to speak to the ancestors, else life here isn't going to go on. Now, let me just back up and say this. When people always compare spirituality, or they talk about spirituality, it's always very kind of ancient, barbaric to me, meaning that the way people seem to understand spiritual things and the other realm and all these type of things that are magical, they always kind of like make it so like cavemanish to me. Like they compare it to the idea of sticks and stones. That's how I see it. Literally, like there's some caveman lighting, you know, a fire, and then someone says, that's like, you know, the internet. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I see the idea of saying that if you don't clear up curses or things that are happened into your ancient, you know, ancestors and things like this, then you're going to have all these problems and it's going to follow you in the bloodline. Now, the thing is, I believe in the body, and I believe in the mind, and I believe in the science of all this, all those types of things. But I also believe in the spirit, that we have a spirit, and our spirit is built in a certain way, and our spirit holds a lot of things. And to kind of say that you are tied to the idea of ancient relatives are causing problems for you in this world, yeah, no. Here's, to me, the true idea of generation curses. Generational? Yeah. It's more when we don't evolve and we don't grow and we don't expand. Now, let's take, for instance, right now, the younger generation that's going through things right now. Those of you in your 20s are like, hey, you know, I feel kind of lost. There's a lot going on. I don't know which direction to go. And you're feeling like maybe there's something wrong with you. Now, what if someone tells you, you know what? Psst, psst, come over here. I got something to tell you. There's a curse within your ancestral line. And if you don't talk to the dead ones, it's all going to go to hell. Or maybe it's because our world is a very different world than those before you, and it's changing, and the generation gap that is happening with this new generation is even further. Meaning, because of technology and the speed fast of what all of it's going, and we've gone through a very difficult past few years that has pushed us into a new world, that perhaps maybe that's why you're a little lost, because you're not getting the guidance and the understanding of an older generation that can say, you know, when I was a kid and I went through a pandemic, you know, and when robots were being formed, no. It's a very different world you are dealing with. I said this to the millennials, and those of you who've known me for a while, raise your hand, throw in the comments. You know I have. I have been speaking up for the generation behind me for many, many years. A matter of fact, I used to work with kids. Probably some of those kids, when I did circle time and sang, you know, and did all kinds of fun things with, you know, when I was a preschool teacher, those kids are probably, painfully to say, millennials. Actually, they are. I was 21 when I started doing that, but I'm just saying I have always been trying to help the generation behind me, as we all should. So when you're going, I'm a little lost, is there some curse on my ancestors? No, it is real life stuff happening here. Now, is it true that when people die and they look at their lives and they see, you know, I didn't pay any attention to what was really going on with my kids or my grandkids and how it was affecting them and how I was being and how I raised them. Does that put something over onto your life? Meaning, do they notice there needs to be a break in the chain of how things are done? You know, there was a time where corporal punishment was just, yeah, great. That's no problem. No big deal. That was definitely where I grew up in, and things like that. And we kind of evolve and realize these are not great things to do. Hopefully most of us, but we're moving more towards that. So when people die, they do look at their life and they see, oh, wow, I didn't know these things as a parent. I didn't know these things as a grandparent or whatever. And does that help break something? Yes, but it's also your choice. You have to choose what kind of person are you going to be? How are you going to change things? This is the spiritual aspect to me. I'm sure it's also a psychological aspect, but I'm speaking from the spiritual end, that your spirit is choosing to evolve and grow and move into a new era. Now, the reason why I say this is because I know so many of you are feeling it right now. So many of you are feeling like heavy, and you're young and you're like, why can't I figure things out? Why do things seem so difficult? But we today on earth, we don't have to wait till we die. We can speak to the generation behind us, and we can acknowledge there are things we don't understand. We don't have to always come from this place of, well, you know, I'm older, so I know. There's a lot we don't relate to the generation behind us, which is why we need to grow from them and learn from them to help us grow. And we need to learn about what they're going through and understand their perspective, their world, okay? And here on earth, we can break those chains. We don't have to wait till we die to have these realizations. And you can reach out to people who are in their 20s and who are in their teens and talk to them. If they're your children, if they're friends of the family, if your friends' kids, they are having a hard time because they are coming into a new world, whether you want to accept it or not. I just posted on my Instagram a little clip of these robots that they have that have the actual faces that is similar to the game that I've been playing called Detroit. This is where we're at. They're making faces, moving their hands. This is where we're at. We're at a time where people in their 20s can't go into someone and shake their hand and smile. And when you're teaching them things like, all you got to do is, to get a job is to do this. It's not their world. They only can apply online. Everything's done over the internet. What I'm saying is that understanding the next generation and helping them grow is how you really break the curses. Not being stubborn and saying that, I don't have to understand them because this is the way I did it and this is the way they can do it, is not breaking anything. That to me is truly the curse. When I see these videos telling people that they have a curse on them because of their families and there's evil within them, then that is not taking responsibility. So let me repeat this. Accountability as a people, not just as parents, not just as aunts and uncles, not just as godparents or any of those things that you might have connected to the younger generation, but as a whole, as a collective whole, we can break these chains if we are taking accountability to what we are doing in this world and realizing we're passing it on to the next and being willing to admit our wrongs, but it also be willing to share our knowledge and share our experience, but paying attention to where they are now, meaning paying attention to the next generation and where they are in life right now. Listen to them. Listen to what they're saying, not squashing them, not oppressing them. So I would say I was trying to tie in something that I see that is kind of a trend, which is always to look for some outside magical, mystical, curse or something like this reason as to why things go wrong in our world. I'm not saying I don't believe in magic or energy. Obviously I do, but I also believe in accountability and making choices. The future works like this. Every decision you make is like a domino effect, and different outcomes come out of it. And every decision you make kind of has a effect upon each other, like the domino, or people call it the butterfly effect. So our decisions that we make are important to how not only affecting us, but others and the future. So when you realize that, then you realize that your decision on how you're going to deal with the generation that is after you and how you're going to relate to them and how you're going to help them or not help them, or are you just going to dump all of your stuff onto them? And that is choice. So what I'm trying to let you guys know is that being conscious of the times that we are in and being conscious of what the generations around us are going through, this is how you really make a break. And even ourselves as well, we can change and we can break. We can, quote, break the curse if we choose a different path in a different direction we want to go in the way we're handling not only our lives, but for others in the world. To me, that is really how you break a generational curse. All right. So I know I got serious, and the reason why I wanted to get serious about it is because people are going through such hard times, and the holidays kind of brings all this stuff up, right? It brings you thinking about your family, people who have died. You have to be around your family. So I thought this could help you when you are at home and you're going around family. remember this. You are flesh and blood to the family, but you are your own spirit, your own person. Your family does not own you, and you get to choose which path and directions you want to go. I know it brings up all this stuff and we kind of get emotional, and that's because when you're a little kid, you're open and you're loving and you're free and you're learning all these things with these open hearts, and then you get hurt and you get disappointed, and it does affect you. But when you get around them, just remember, you are developing who you are. You are a separate being from your own family. Yes, you might have grown up with traditions and the things you do, and you do this and you do that, and every holiday, this is what we do. And that's all to give people a sense of knowing, a sense of comfort, a sense of understanding our world. But that doesn't define you. You are your own person. So when you're in that space, remember this. You always have a choice in the direction you want to go. Be true to yourself. As hard as it is sometimes, still you can be true to yourself. Just remember and remind yourself you are of your own person. Your whole identity does not come only from what we're connected to biologically on this planet. Okay, so that was a lot. That was a lot. And I hope that helps. I hope that helps you with these holidays. And it's a little bit serious. I know it was a little bit serious, but I really wanted to bring it home and bring you guys something. I want to let you guys know that I am giving 50% off of all the gift certificates. It's the code GIFT. You have to enter it once you're checking out. And I'm giving 50% off of all readings for the holidays because I know these times bring up so much stuff. This is actually when things do get a little heavy, at least in my work, because I know people are really going through it. So I'm getting 50% off for the holidays, and that code is HOLIDAY. I can't wait to do my next video because I am going to do my video on Kwanzaa. I posted it on my Instagram. Speaking of tradition, that's what I grew up celebrating, and I'll explain it all in my next video. Share in the comments below anything that you feel you would like to know about my next video. I had posted that on my Instagram, but also share a little bit about what you feel, I don't know, your thoughts and opinions about this whole generational curse and everything like that. And also I'll be posting a Patreon video will be going up, so check that out. If you haven't joined, you can. Follow yourself, follow no one, listen to your inner voice, and I'll see you soon.